Hi, and welcome to another episode of Badger Nerdworks Presents We Watched a Movie. I'm Brandon. This is Cass. Today, we watched Gremlins, a classic, kind of offbeat Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, Cass, your impression?
Oh, man. Okay, so I have not watched Gremlins since I was a kid, and I loved it as a kid. Like, I had Gizmo Furbies, had a little Gizmo, you know?
So cute.
I haven't seen it in so long, and so I tried to watch a little bit of it today, so I caught only a little bit, so it's going to be half from memory and half from when I watched it.
You almost watched a movie?
I have watched it before, so
right.
That counts.
Oh, no, totally. And this is such a classic. It's one of those things that's, like, ingrained in our souls. If you were a kid from our era, this was pushed on you. This wasn't, like, a movie that happened. It was, like, a movie that
Gremlins!
happened. Yeah. And it was strange because it's kind of dark for a movie geared towards little kids. Like, clearly, especially in the toys and the selling and the merchandising, this was gauged towards little kids. But as a film, it's really dark.
Really. And really, like, uncomfortable. And really, like, there's some real nasty things said, like the mean bitch in the beginning, because there's no other word for her except
the evil
she's
evil
like
old woman.
Yeah, she's like the wicked witch. She's like, I'm gonna find your dog and, eat it too, like...
Yeah, she's really after his dog the entire movie, which he was being a little unprofessional with his dog, in my opinion.
In a bank?
Yeah, I don't know if that's totally the right place, but I don't think that's the right response either. And I think it does a great job of indicating just how evil she is.
It broke her snowman.
Well, I mean, and part of this movie is, like, a dichotomy of, like, good versus evil.
Oh, yeah.
And how, like, even inside of any given being, like, any set of beings, you'll have good examples and evil examples. I see that in, like, Gizmo and the other Mogwai, who turn into gremlins if you feed them too late at night. Like,
after midnight.
In case you didn't know what this was. Mogwai are little fuzzy, adorable guys.
They're like intelligent creatures, almost.
Yeah, they're sentient.
They're sentient.
They're totally,
But they're like, there's an intelligence there. Like, there
they're very smart.
They have natural talents. They have like knacks for things, which
total plan making.
Oh man,
they get turned into the gremlins because they unplug a clock and set it back, and they trick a human. Like, and this is like day 2 of having existed. They knew how the machine worked. They understood their own, like, how they worked.
They waited for
him to leave. And they knew how to get what they needed.
They waited for him to leave. Like, they had tied up the dog intentionally to get him to leave the room so they could just mess things up. And World War II!
Right. Okay, so yeah, let's get into that, because gremlins are a traditional monster. They exist inside of culture outside of this. And then this movie took a really cool take on them. Gremlins historically in World War II were the little monsters that would break parts of planes and ships and all kinds of complicated devices. And when they didn't work right, they're like, oh, a gremlin did that.
Yeah.
It was a gremlin in the machine that, like, messed it up. The really cool thing about this movie is that there's, like, a World War II guy that thinks that they're actual monsters. He believes in the gremlins, and then the movie verifies that. In fact, in parts of Asia, in particular Japan, it seems like there were gremlins, that these little mogwais have existed, and they reproduce with water. They die by virtue of sunlight. Super gross and painful, the way they bubble up and pop out.
That, the whole, like, how dare you talk this bad about my dog, and then, hey, accidental water drops on Gizmo, and he's screaming in pain, and they're like, oh, look at this fuzzball. Let's drop more water on the rest of them. It causes them severe pain, but hey, money.
Well, I mean, I don't think they agree.
Sorry.
It seems very painful. I agree. It seems very painful for them. The first one is an accident, and they got very shady rules from a little kid, because the Mogwai was ascertained by our American family in the shadiest of fashions, and the guy who was...
Chinatown.
Yeah, Chinatown. The guy who was selling it was not selling it. He was like, no, you can't have this. It's too dangerous.
It was a grandson that was like, no, dude, I'll take your money.
Yeah, and the grandson's like, oh, we need it. So he sells it to the father of the family, and he gives it to them as a terrible Christmas present.
Here's your new pet. It's kind of... It's really intelligent. I call it Gizmo.
Yeah, because I'm an inventor. He's an inventor, and he's like, I need a Gizmo.
The invention part, whenever he's on the phone with his wife, and if you look in the back, like, where he's talking, there's a lot of experiments going on, like inventions, one of which is like a time machine. It's a time machine. And it cuts, and then it cuts back, and the time machine's gone, and they're looking around for it.
Like,
poof, like, like,
great movie making in this movie.
The dad's an inventor, and his inventions suck. At max, they last a couple of weeks.
Well, they have gremlins.
Mm-hmm.
All of them have these little problems. They should work, and they are always breaking. And he's cursed by it. And then he gets them for his family, and his family is cursed by them.
Suffer.
Yeah. And the gremlins are really terrible. Like, when they turn into the reptilian version of the Mogwai, the gremlin, they are instantly, inherently, chaotically evil.
Yeah, they're nasty.
They know how to use weapons and strategize, and they're small, but they're mean, and they're clever, and they sneak up on you.
And they work as a team.
Yeah, they work real well as a team.
Oh, man. They are, like, in sync. And it's really interesting that they chose to eat. They knew the rules. They knew it, and they wanted to become the Gremlins. Where Gizmo's like, nah, I'm comfortable. I'm good. I'm just gonna chill here on this bed and go to sleep. Thanks, guys.
He's the one example of a good one, which is, like, the exact opposite of what the humans were, where we have a bunch of good humans, and then we have that evil woman. There's one good Mogwai, and then a whole bunch of evil gremlins.
It's a good...
Yeah, and it's like, they're kind of like the balance to us. It's awesome how they know their social role. Like, the gremlins instantly know their social role. They have a leader, the Stripe character.
And it doesn't matter age either. Yeah. It matters strength. It's a matter of dominance. And he immediately... He was the first pop out, and he was immediately like, no, I'm boss. Y'all suck and are below me.
Right, and he seems smarter than the rest. And they seem to get dumber and dumber the more of them that they produce. Like, the more that they...
And their faces are a little snottier, too.
Yeah, they get, like, some of them with, like, big, weird eyes. Each one's unique, though, and that's pretty cool.
Colors change. It doesn't matter where they pop from. They, like, their colors change. And they're all...
Their personality changes. Some of them
different,
decide, like, they're a woman, even though they don't need gender at all because they reproduce by water.
The one, and they actually, like, they showed that a lot in 2 as well, but that's not this movie.
But no, it's there. Like, as soon as they take over a bar, the first thing they want to do is take over a bar, get drunk, get themselves some guns, play cards, and find themselves, like, a prostitute. That's what I assume that was. Which doesn't even make sense.
It's interesting, though. Their first thing is the vices of society. That's the first thing they go to are the main vices of society. Alcohol, tobacco, and whores.
Yeah, I was going to say, and, like, coming back to the old lady, because it is one of the funniest moments in it when she gets her comeuppance. She's been throwing water on people who are out caroling out in the winter, which is so mean, And, like, she goes to go do that, and it's the gremlins, and they're caroling for her just to freak her out and distract her so they can mess with her little escalator she uses to get up the stairs, which shoots her out of she, like, goes to run away, she gets into it, and it shoots up there like a rocket and jettisons her out of the house in front of the totally useless police, who are some of my favorite characters in this movie. The useless police. They don't believe it when it's happening. When it starts happening, they're just so scared. There's a moment where a Santa is coming out of a house and he's covered in gremlins that are just tearing him apart. And he's screaming, he's like, and the cops are like, isn't that Frank? And, like, the cop just, like, rolls up his window, and one of the gremlins is, like, clawing at the window, like, laughing its head off on top of this guy they're clearly murdering immediately outside of it.
And it's interesting because they were like the first thing they thought with the pops and everything, and I guess until they realized, Christmas, how much money, capitalism and all that kind of fun stuff. How the first thing was, man, we could make a lot of money off of these little things because all it takes is water.
Yeah.
First thing was, hey, money, and then they are these awful things that, like, you wouldn't wish on the wall. You kind of would on some of the worst enemies, but, like, these like the lady.
Yeah. And I mean, it's fair to say that the father, after destroying the entire town, comes to grips with the evils of that, and is like, no, materialism. And, like, that's pretty cool. But it's about the only feel-good Christmas thing in this. Like,
it's not feel-good.
It has probably the worst Christmas story of all time. The main female protagonist hates Christmas, and she's a Grinch. And then you find out it's because, like, her dad dressed up as Santa and tried to climb down the chimney and broke his neck.
Yep.
And, like,
it's traumatizing.
Yeah, it's really terrible.
It's so traumatizing as a child.
It's one of the darkest Christmas stories I've ever heard.
No, because my dad died as Santa.
Yeah.
Like, not only did my dream of, like, my childhood of, Santa's real die that day, so did my dad.
Right, at the exact same time. My father figure in Christmas died in the same moment. And oh god, it's so dark. And the girl does a great job of telling it. This movie is fantastically directed. A lot of the performances are really great. I mean, I thought it's really good. It's really solid. it's creepy, and it's Christmas.
It's something that no matter what sticks with you. Like I said, I haven't seen it in a while, but these moments that have been talked about, I'm like, yes, I can distinctly remember. It's something that sticks with you. It's something that, is a good horror Christmas movie.
Super rare genre.
Which is so rare.
And it so rarely hits it on the head this solidly, both in being creepy and Christmassy.
Yep, and gross.
And gross. Yeah, there are some
factors all these nice things in to make this beautiful
Christmas
treat.
That points to the great era of movie making with the physical props and the physical monsters.
Oh, yeah.
They look so good. They look real.
Oh, man. Yep.
Yeah.
Because they are.
Yeah. Yeah, well, so I think that's pretty much our take on Gremlins. Pretty much a big old thumbs up.
Yes, definitely watch it if you haven't, which I don't know why you haven't, so get out there and fix that.
Depress someone this Christmas. Thanks for coming and hanging out.
Especially those kids. Yeah. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and check out our other stuff on the right. Be sure to click the bell icon. Is that wherever? I don't know where the bell icon is.
I think it's over there.
Click the buttons down below that looks like a bell. So make sure you get notifications when we post new stuff. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for coming.